Ooh. And an official message to you all. This is pre-recorded, so while we know you might miss us live, we just wanted to let you all know we are still here with you live in spirit, but this is absolutely a pre-recording, but going to be a fire episode. So welcome to Game Beyond the Game presents Talk That Talk, inspiring conversations with professional athletes, where we discuss, inspire conversation, and explore finding your vision and purpose in life and discuss tools to overcome life's transitions. My name is Sam Pearson II, your MC, joined with founder Prince Daniels Jr. Prince, how you doing? How you living?
Oh, man, I'm grateful, man. That's all I have to say because I'm really excited about everything that's going on. So I always want to maintain my energy, but I'm in the inside, I feel invigorated. I feel jovial. I feel extremely happy, but I want to maintain my energy. I don't want to get too high because I could lose it. So overall, I'm feeling extremely grateful.
Awesome. And if you wouldn't mind, can you share the quote that you shared on Clubhouse the other day that knocked some people's socks off and blew their minds about being grateful and greatness?
Oh yeah. I said, if you want to reach a level of greatness, you got to be grateful. And I said to people, now what I just said, it may go over your head, and that's okay because it was not intended for your mind. It was intended for your heart. So,
Oh,
yeah. So,
I love it. I love it. Yo, that's how we're kicking off this episode of Game Beyond the Game presents Talk That Talk. You could be anywhere, but you're here with us. So congratulations, you made it. You're in the right
hey,
place. So, Prince, something that we have not talked about intentionally just yet has been your award-winning book,
mm,
Mindfulness for the Ultimate Athlete: Mastering the Balance Between Power and Peace.
yes,
That's what we want to talk about today. That's what I love to ask you some questions about today. And
that part.
I'm gonna hop right into it, specifically to discuss the zone, like in the book. And it's really cool because in the book also, there are, drawings, as well, diagrams and so forth for people to read and learn how to breathe and so forth. So I love that. The other piece, discussing the zone, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read an excerpt from the book that really inspired me when I have more of this conversation. So it says, in 2003, I was a sophomore at Georgia Tech, and by that time had spent 2 years as a walk-on. After a series of circumstances that finally did lead to a scholarship, I became the team's starting running back and was about to face our biggest opponents of the season, Florida State. It was an away game, and we all knew their home crowd was intimidating and the noise so deafening that it would be hard to hear our own thoughts.
Mm.
The zone, man. Take me from there.
Oh, you taking me back to that moment,
Take
man.
me from there.
Yes, in 2003, man, I was a walk-on, number 7th on the depth chart, and I just became the starting running back at Georgia Tech. So it's funny because I'm in the middle of a transition, and what I mean by that is like a transition. You have to be able to take your mind, your body, and your spirit with you, right? And so, um, and we all go through transitions in life. And so around that time, I was I was trying to figure out how to be the starting running back. I got the position, so my body is there. My mind wasn't there. My spirit was there, but it was still convoluted, or it was I wasn't able to see clearly because it was my mind made it murky for my spirit to be able to have the desire, right? The initial desire that I had, to be able to live into that moment. And so for me, it was I was asking myself, like, how do you become the starting running back at Georgia Tech? Because I still had the walk on mentality. I just became a walk. I mean, I was from walk on to now the starter and the scholarship player. So now I'm like, okay, well, what does a starting running back do? Like I had these ideas when I was in high school because I was a starting running back in high school. But when you get to a new platform in college, now I get put in the back, and I'm a depth chart, right? So now I'm working my way up, and as I'm working my way up, my mindset is not changing as fast as the as the as a transition happens,
Yeah.
right? And so 2003, You know, I got dubbed the starting running back at Georgia Tech. I think we played 2 games before we played Florida State. We played BYU and Auburn. We ended up beating Auburn. We lost to BYU. That was our first game. We lost to BYU, beat Auburn. And so, you know, I started gaining a little bit of confidence. So I'll never forget, man, that night, well, like leading up to the game, there were a lot of moments that aligned me with knowing I was going to do something incredible. You know, prior to that, I was watching film with my coach, and he was talking about look at those guys, man. He's like, you know what, those guys. He stopped the camera. He looked at everybody. My coach, Curtis Mockins, man, the running back coach or the offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. You know, he said to me, he stopped the tape. He said he talked to all the running backs in the room. He was like, look here. He's like, they say those guys are no different than us. He said we can go out there and beat them. He said they don't go into no phone booth and put no tights on and no boots on and come out with a cape. He said they don't do that. He said, so you need to know. He said, Florida State. Who is Florida State? Oh man, they had me pumped, man. Had me pumped. You know,
man, to put things in the proper perspective too. Like they are just like us.
Just like us. Right. Just like us. Don't you be intimidated by them. So that was that solidified in my brain and my confidence pool and my confidence bank, right? So I stored that. I spoke to my uncle prior to that, and he was telling me, man, you need to rely on your speed, man. You fast, man. Stop sticking out the stiff form. You know, rely on your speed. So you know, as these amazing, amazing conversations and moments happen, you know, led up to the game, and as the game came along, you know, I just knew that something incredible was going to happen. I would never forget our chaplain, Derek Moore. Shout outs to him, who is now one of the coaches and motivational speakers at the South Carolina Gamecocks. He told his story of David and Goliath, which is one of my favorite stories in the Bible, the basic instructions before leaving Earth, and he was like, and David and Goliath, and so he would show the score of Georgia Tech and Florida State, you know, those previous games, and we didn't beat them. I think at that time our record was like 1-10 with them, and so he was just like, you know, he's like, we couldn't beat them in 1990 something, but it's okay. And he crumbled up the paper, and he's like, because we're going to turn this to a stone. And I'm over there, my legs shaking. I'm like, ooh. And I'm looking at everybody like, y'all not feeling this? I'm feeling the spirit. I'm feeling like I've been moved, like everything. So right now, as you can see, what I'm explaining to you is that my spirit woke up, right?
Yeah.
And so, again, my mind is still a bit convoluted on, you know, how to be a starting running back. But my body is there. Right. So this is all about transition as well. So as I hear that sermon, that night, one of me and my roommate, Ajanavia Azimafe, you know, Ace is what we call him. You know, shout outs to Ace. And we're in the room, we're in a hotel room, and we decided to put on some music. We put on A. Marie. I forgot the name of the album. I want to say All I Have. And we listened to that whole album throughout the night, put it on repeat, and we listened to it. And I'll never forget, I had an out-of-body experience, and it's something that I was familiar with because I had something similar to this when I was 5 years old. I mentioned it in my book early on, when I learned how to ride my bicycle, without training wheels for the very first time. And so I had a similar dream. And so this night, man, I had a dream that I was going to score a touchdown in the game. And when I say I had an out-of-body experience, it was like my soul or my spirit was outside of my body, and I could see myself on the bed, and I looked like I was like a dog. You know how dogs they running, you know, they the rabbits or whatever else. You know, I could see myself, my legs are moving, and I'm just trying to run, and in my dream I scored a touchdown. So the next morning, the sun ray was beaming into the room, and I just remember my eyes just popped open. I'm going to score a touchdown. That's exactly what I said. Right? That's exactly what I said at that moment. I just knew it. So now we get to the game, and man, it's electrifying, man. If you ever been to the Florida State Stadium, I mean, they have that seminar. He's riding on the horse. He comes into the middle of the field. He raises up that spear. He stakes it in the ground, and the crowd go crazy, man. Man, the crowd went crazy, and I remember it, and I was just like, "Let's go!" Ah! Like, let's
I
go.
love it.
Let's go.
I love it, man.
I looked at the film, or I looked at the game on TV, and they were talking about, Georgia Tech doesn't have a running back, or a running game. They haven't established that yet. They don't know who their running back is. They have the starter. His name is PJ Daniels. He's a walk-on. So, we'll see what they can produce. Right. So, man, I went in and I told one of my coaches, Austin, I was just like, Austin, I'm gonna score a touchdown today, man. I could feel it. I could feel it. So at this moment in time, I'm not really thinking about how to be a starting running back. I'm just going off of my spirit, off of my desire.
Yeah, the title meant nothing. It didn't mean anything compared to your spirit, your drive, your effort. The title was just something, your dream.
I saw it first, right? They say in order for you to achieve something, you have to see it. I was able to see it, and then I was able to conceive it. Yep. Woo! Hey, man,
conceive it, believe it, achieve it.
Look, it was so no one could tell me anything. So that's why visualization is a very huge part is a very huge component when it comes to the zone. So the game begins, man. I'm out there. I start the game off as if like Florida State, y'all don't know who y'all messing with, man. Came out during the game. They tossed me the ball. I ran a couple plays, made somebody miss, spun off somebody, ran somebody over, jumped right back up before the defense can get up. They was like, man, who this dude is? Who is this dude? Who is this dude? I'm back at the huddle, like, let's go. Let's go. They don't want none of this. They don't want none of this, man. So the game it's a back and forth battle. The game, man, we going for halftime. It's 6-0. 6-0. We kicked 2 field goals. Georgia Tech is up. All right. So they didn't score until like the third quarter. All right. So after we came out from halftime, Florida State, they ended up scoring. So now the score is 7-6. And the whole time I've been trying, like, man, when am I score my touchdown? I know it's coming. Man. Like, what's going on? Because everybody was telling me, you like one shoestring away from scoring a touchdown. One shoestring tackle from scoring a touchdown. I was just like, man, when is this going to happen? Like, I know it's going to happen. I saw it in my dream. So fourth quarter came, and my bro Ruben Houston. Oh man, Rico Ritchie. Shout out to Rico Ritchie. Yeah. he made an interception on Florida State's 2-yard line and ran it back to like the midfield. Right. Man, we're going crazy. It was like, let's go. Let's go ahead and put this game up. I mean, let's get it over with. Score 6-7. And man, we got the ball back. We ran a couple of plays. And I remember saying to myself, like, man, when is this touchdown going to happen? And I'll never forget, at that moment, I remember I could feel myself taking a nice deep inhale, and I held it, and then I exhaled, and I relaxed. And when that happened, I just remember the quarterback saying, "Blue 8! Blue 8!" Oh, the quarterback was Reggie Ball. He was like, "Blue 8! Blue 8! Set! Hut!" And when he said hut, I took a step to my right. And I remember when I took that first step, everything was like, woo. I was like, whoa. I was like, all right, where am I? And I remember putting my hand up, and he put the ball in my pocket. And I'm looking, and the Florida State defense just over pursued to the right.
Counter left.
And man, I cut it back so hard, but my linemen, Leon, Nat Dorsey, Andy, Brad Honeycutt, they opened this wide hole. I didn't even see it. I just felt myself just go back. Just like that. I'm just like, whoa. I'm running through the hole and I'm looking at people. I'm looking at the linebackers. Some of them failed because they over pursued. You know, some of them made sure that they maintained their position, their lane, and they started chasing after me. Man, I shot through the hole. Whew. And as I'm running, I'm like, look at all these people. I was like, they going first round. Those are first round linebackers. I was just like, and so what? Who cares? Like, let's go. You know, so I'm running. And as I'm running, there's a defender coming to me from my left side, a DB. He's coming from my left side. And I remember, I mean, I was going to stick out my stiff arm. But as I told you prior to that, my uncle said, hey, man, stop sticking out your stiff arm. Rely on your speed. So this is going on in my head for like that whole scenario played out in my head, but it played out in my head. It had to play out in my head in like 1/10 of a tenth of a tenth of a tenth of a second.
It felt like forever though. As you're going through, you can see it calmly, process everything calmly. It's like Neo in the Matrix. Everything slows down.
Time did not exist because everything was happening so fast, but in my mind, it was so slow that I could think of every single thing. I could have recited the ABCs. Yeah, I could have counted from 100 down to 0, right? And so as I'm running, that came into my head. And if you ever watch the film, you can see me like attempt
like your arm, put the alligator arm, bring it.
I brought it back in and just took off running. I was like, let's go. Let's go. And, you know, I was like, feet don't fail me now. I was like, oh, like, let's go. So now I've broke. You know, I'm out in the open field. This is my longest run, you know, as a walk on because I'm so used to getting tackled. So, you know, now I'm like, oh, I'm running. I was like, oh, running. Let's go. So as I'm running, you know, I'm racing this other defender who came from the other side of the field, hauling tail, man. They averaged about a 4.3, you know, 4.3 in the 40-yard dash for their DBs at the time. And he was hauling tail, man. So we met at the 3-yard line and we both jumped at the same time. Oof. And so at that moment, when we jumped, everything slowed down again because I broke out of the zone when I started realizing I was like, oh shit, I'm actually running. So like, I'm still running.
This is happening.
So I get to the 3-yard line, and at the 3-yard line, I dive, I jump, oof, and everything slowed down again. Now all of this happened in my dreams. But in my dream, it looked amazing the way that I dove. I was like, I was like, ooh. But in real life, it didn't look like that.
Never looked like that in real life. It wasn't as glamorous.
Wasn't as glamorous. Like when I saw the picture, I was holding on to the ball like this. But in my dreams, I had the ball, you know, laid out in front of me. It was like a perfect picture. And so I dive into the end zone. And when I dive into the end zone, just like boom, boom, boom. I hit the ground and my head was bobbing like boom, 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 boom. And I couldn't hear anything. I was just like, man, what happened? You know, like what happened? And I remember one of my teammates, he came over. Oh, he was standing over me and he grabbed my shoulder pads. And he was rocking me like snaking me like that. I'm like, what's going on? And I couldn't hear anything. I could not hear anything. And I was like, did I score? And he was like, get up. I was like, huh? Get up. It was almost like I got knocked out, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm coming back into consciousness. And he was like, get up. I was like, did I score? He's like, did you score? He's like, you hear that shit? You hear that? And, you know, like, so
now it's like, boom, now you're tuned back in. Like,
it's like
goes like white noise, and all of a sudden, in a snap of a finger, you're back.
I'm back. And now the band is in the back, you know, the Florida State Stadium, quiet. And then our band just struck it up like, din, 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 din. And I'm like, oh, I'm the starting running back, baby.
Yo, see it in order to be it.
Yes, you got to visualize it, man. So, you know, that was like my second or third moment with the zone, experience the zone, you know, in my lifetime. And then I had other moments where I really started to study it and dive into it deeper. But yeah, that was just from sheer will and determination and desire and seeing a dream and it becoming a reality. So at that moment, I was able to live into my reality, which is another word for the zone.
Love it. Reality. And another word for the zone. And you know, the amazing man, thank you for sharing that. I think, and for those who are kind of wondering what the zone is, it's generally what I understand from research. It's like you almost you see it as it's happening. It's almost slow motion, but as it's happening, it all feels surreal. And then it's over. You look back like, did that just happen? Does that sound familiar to you, Prince?
Yeah, it's almost like, how did it happen? Like what just happened? Like, wow, I just felt like that wow. And so, you know, a lot of times most people would say, oh man, that was God, or that I had an out of body experience, or like I was in the flow stage, or I was in the zone, or I was in this reality. You know, it's all of the above. It is all of the above.
It's you know, the positive automation of your ability and your spirit. And like when you take the hand off, that's a little piece of the zone because you do it without thinking. It's a part of, now it's dialed in your subconscious. Or a shooter like Steph Curry doesn't necessarily think about shooting. He just shoots. He's just in his zone, not overthinking.
Yes.
And it feels like there's peace in that place.
Yeah, it's peace. You're in a state of bliss. Look, you are in the zone. You're in bliss. You are in joy. You are in joy and in love with the process. So all being in the zone is being in a place of bliss. Most people say it's a place of being in a neutral space, and it is. But when you're in a neutral space, you're in a place of bliss. So you're in the zone, in love, enjoying the process, all of the above.
Oh man. And you also mentioned in the book, and I'm going to run through a couple of things that, like, there's no ego involved. You just do the work and create the conditions for the zone to appear. I like that. I like, as you told that story, and for those of you all listening, watching, experiencing this right now, you know, the zone can happen anywhere in any profession, and certainly in athletes are more familiar because it's more discussed in athletics, but it's in everything. But the intentionality, when Prince is talking about the story, obviously goes back to, you know, learning how to ride a bike, the training wheels are off, to this moment and leading up to the game, all that, whether it's playing the music, that was a part of it. So like the zone didn't happen on accident.
Mm-mm.
Like it was all premeditated, so to speak. And then you realize, this is what I did. This is what I did. And you also mentioned some folks that you've witnessed in the zone. I'll name these names, and when I get done naming the names that you have in the book, let me know what you think is special about this list of people in terms of the zone. So we see Kobe Bryant, the late great Kobe Bryant, Calvin Johnson Jr., Megatron, Peyton Manning.
Hold on, let me. Kobe Bryant, when he scored his 81 points, you could tell that he was in the zone. Like I mean, he wasn't even at that moment in time. It was just like he didn't want his teammates to take no shot. Not mean that he was selfish, but he was like, I pass y'all the ball and you keep missing it. Just give me the ball. And just kept shooting. Boom. Like, I can't miss. Boom. I'm not going to miss. Boom. Like, I am this basketball. It is an extension of me. Goes into the hoop. Like, you know, just playing at a higher level than everyone else.
It's so amazing too when you mention that. And usually when I've, seen cats in the zone, it's like everyone else seems more, I won't even use the word impressed, but more overwhelmed than the person that's actually in the zone. Like they're literally getting to see it, to watch, to experience what's happening. But the person, it kind of, back in the day when Michael Jordan hit like the 6 threes against Portland, whatever it was, he's like, it's,
Right.
and that shrug became famous. But you find that in the zone, like, did I score a touchdown? Like, what happened? Like, I don't care, but what happened?
Yeah.
And that's what I also find just super, again, incredible about having the discussion about the zone and what it feels like.
Right.
And again, you're saying that there's no ego involved in the zone.
None at all. The ego has no place in the zone because your spirit takes over. Your connection with the source, it takes over. So you become a vessel or instrument. So you're allowing for the energy to flow through you. Right.
Yeah.
And so by aligning your mind, your body, and your spirit, the body is already always doing the work. That's what you're prepping for. That's what you're working out to do. That's, as an athlete or as anyone, as a speaker, as a lawyer or doctor, just anyone, a high achiever, you are making sure that your body is in alignment with what you need to do. So you perfect these skills. And then your mind is like, okay, I'm trying to figure out how to do it. And the spirit and the heart is like, just let go. We'll show you how to do it. You've already done it so many times. Look, the zone is here. And basically what happens is the zone is all around us. But we're distracted from the zone because we are in these characters and these roles of our everyday life, right? Like, as an adult, as a parent, as an athlete, as a student, so you have all these other distractions, which is kind of like perfect distractions because it's helping you get closer to your goal. But if you want to be aware of the zone, you have to do an exercise that makes you aware of the zone that's around you. Once you start becoming aware of it, or you heighten your level of awareness, then you become familiar with the zone and you're like, that's the zone. And you start learning how to live with the zone and live in the zone.
Live in the zone. I know we're about to close out. So what came to me then was also, you can be intentional about living in the zone, being in the zone, and then like the trust piece. Like you've been here, how to do all this stuff. Like this is automatic. This is on automatic.
It's on automatic. What Malcolm Gladwell say? You put in your 10,000 hours, right? You put in your 10,000 hours. Bruce Lee said it. He's just like, I'm not afraid of the guy that knows 10,000 kicks, but I'm afraid of the guy that knows a one kick that can do it, that has done it over 10,000 times. He may just kick you through a brick wall, right? Pound, like that's when everybody runs. Like, okay.
That's so true, man. Oh, that's so real. And folks sometimes are afraid of committing to that one thing that they can crush, but committing to the zone committing to that one thing will change someone's life exponentially. Is that safe to say that if someone is committing to achieving the zone, that could be a great place for them to be?
Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely.
Love it, man. Go ahead.
It's something, like you don't, like words are powerful. So like when you say achieving the zone, it's more just becoming aware of the zone. So then they can flow with it.
Because it's always there, as you just said.
Always there. It's like a wave, right? Like for a surfer. It's like, they're on their surfboard and like, when is the wave going to come? When is the wave going to come? And when you know that it's coming, you start pedaling. You start, pedaling, and then all of a sudden you prep yourself, it comes underneath you, you stand up on your board and you start surfing. And so the zone is similar to that, man. You just got to you become aware of it instead of achieving it.
Love it. Become aware of the zone, man. Any final thoughts, words as we get out of here after having this discussion on the zone? I feel like it's conversation we could have more of. So I look forward
Right.
to it as well. But any
We
final
should have a part 2 or something.
Yeah, we could definitely have a part 2.
Um, um, my final words is just align your mind, your body, and your spirit. And the way to do that is by spending time with yourself. Practicing meditation and mindfulness, like in the morning time. And what that does, that creates an anchor for you. Kobe Bryant had mentioned it when he was talking about practicing meditation, and it allows for you to anchor yourself to know exactly throughout your day what you want to put your energy into. And when you start to become more mindful of what you put your energy into, whether that's conversations, arguments, conversations about money, business, becoming a better you. The minute you start to become more mindful of that, you start pouring your energy into something, and the return on your investment of your energy is becoming aware of the zone. And when you realize that, then you start realizing like your superpower and what you can do. So just remind people, spend time with yourself in the morning time and be consistent with it, whether it's 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, or 30 minutes, or an hour. Just continue to keep doing it, and you will start to realize like the amazing things that you are connected with, and you'll start to realize that you're anchoring yourself so you can see all the chaos and be the center of the attention, or be the center of the chaos, and you can pick and choose what you want to get involved in.
Man, thank you so very much, Prince. This was dope. I look forward to talking more about the zone as we maybe establish a part 2 to this conversation. And those that have to understand, the zone is always there. I'd be willing to become more aware of it. So officially, thank you all for joining us and having this experience as we discuss more about the zone. For those of you all watching and listening, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Prince Daniel Jr. YouTube page, as well as Game Beyond the Games podcast. And you can also join us every week on Game Beyond the Games Facebook page, live or recorded like this, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Appreciate you always.
Well, always appreciate you guys. Peace.